I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can I get a roll call?
Mr. Cook?
Here.
Mr. Rogan?
Here.
Ms. Smith?
Here.
Supervisor Williams?
Here. Public notice, Counselor?
Yes. Public notice is hereby given that the Town Board of the Town of Patterson, New York will hold a public hearing in consideration of contract with the Patterson Fire Department Number 1 to provide fire protection, rescue, and first aid services, collectively referred to herein as fire protection services, in all or a portion of the Patterson Fire Protection District as shown on the fire map filed in the office of the Putnam County Clerk as filed map number 793. Said public hearing will be held at the Patterson Town Hall, 1142 Route 311, Patterson, New York, on December 27, 2023, at 7:00 p.m. in the evening of that day, or as soon thereafter as may be held, at which time all persons interested therein shall be heard. For such services, the Patterson Fire Department Number 1 shall receive the yearly sum of $935,950. The contract shall run for 1 year from January 1, 2024 and shall expire on December 31, 2024. A copy of the proposed contract may be obtained from the town clerk at the address below. The town board will make every effort to assure that the hearing is accessible to persons with disabilities. Anyone requiring special assistance and/or reasonable accommodations should contact the town clerk.
I'd ask that anybody here who has any comments or questions on the Patterson Fire Department contract for 2024, if you would approach the mic, state your name and address for the record, and make your comment or ask your question. Hearing none, we'll turn to members of the audience joining us by Zoom. Anybody here joining us by Zoom, if you would unmute, if you have any questions or comments, and state your name and address for the record. Make your comment or ask your question.
Motion to close the public hearing?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next up.
Public notice is hereby given that the Town Board of the Town of Patterson, New York will hold a public hearing in consideration of contracting with the Putnam Lake Fire Department to provide fire protection, rescue, and first aid services, collectively referred to herein as fire protection services, in all or a portion of the fire protection district shown on the fire map filed in the office of the Putnam County Clerk as filed map number 793. Said public hearing will be held at the Patterson Town Hall, 1142 Route 311, Patterson, New York, on December 27, 2023, at 7:00 p.m. in the evening of that day or as soon thereafter as may be held, at which time all persons interested therein shall be heard. For such services, the Putnam Lake Fire Department shall receive the yearly sum of $550,420. The contract shall run for 1 year from January 1, 2024 and shall expire on December 31st, 2024. A copy of the proposed contract may be obtained from the town clerk at the address below. The town board will make every effort to assure that the hearing is accessible to persons with disabilities. Anyone requiring special assistance and/or reasonable accommodation should contact the town clerk.
All right, I'm going to preface this by, last week, I believe, I received a communique from the president of the Putnam Lake Fire Department, Mr. David Rains, who is here with us tonight, who had requested that we amend the contract to provide for a $100,000 payment in the contract due as of July 15th.
January?
Yeah, January 15th. So that's also on Sean's agenda for tonight for further discussion as we get down there. But I want everybody to be aware that we are considering an amendment to the contract as it stands right now that was advertised.
And I think, just so everybody understands, it's not an extra $100,000, it's just $100,000 on a different schedule.
Correct.
The total
Yes.
amount hasn't
Yes.
changed, it's just change in when the department would receive the funds, which we'll discuss.
It's a different
more.
allocation throughout the year.
That's all.
That being said, I will open it up to the public joining us by tonight. If if any member of the audience wishes to address any comments, if you state your name and address.
Do you want?
Thank you. David Rains, I'm a deputy chief in the Putnam Lake Fire Department. I'm currently the president. I live at 11 Bangor Road, Patterson, New York. Thanks for the time tonight, guys. So I'm just going to read my brief. I want to put a little color to what you said, Supervisor Williams, so everybody understands what we're looking for. So in Section 4, under compensation in the current contract language, the current language indicates that the PLFD shall accept 70% payment of the total of the 550,420, which would be $385,294 on or before February 28th as our first payment for fire protection services. This is and has been problematic, as we cannot operate until February 28th, in reality March 1st, without funding. A lot of it is the way we're structured with contracts, our insurance being the biggest piece. Our cancer insurance and our other insurance is our big nut early on in the year, as well as our equipment testing and the annual PMs that are scheduled annually in order to meet our OSHA schedule. We could adjust that moving out in the future, but right now it's tied to the 12-month cycle to get the certain equipment like the SCBAs, the ladders and things like that tested, and that usually happens in the first 8 to 10 weeks of the year. So historically, the fire department operated on a fiscal year of April 1 to March 31st, going back, I don't know, maybe a decade now. We changed it, and to request of the town and the financial director, we changed our bylaws to be in line with the town's fiscal year of January 1 through December 31st. In the past few years, we've struggled to seamlessly operate until March 1st without payment from the town, and the town has stepped up and gotten us to check as soon as they could. It's not like you're holding it, I get that. So there's been a lot of, help there in making that happen. I can transfer money if I have to out of capital non-recurring. I don't want to, it's not the right thing to do. It's also interest-bearing accounts that will yield some penalties and lost interest. So I'm respectfully requesting that as part of the resolution to accept the Patterson Fire Protection Contract, that the town provide us with $100,000 on January 15th with the stipulation that all required documents and reports are submitted by the PLFD prior to that date to the town board as required. And that the balance of that 70%, which would be $285,294, be made under current contract language by February 28th, which would then allow us to pay that about $70,000 in bills as we need to do in the first 8 weeks of the year.
So
Yes,
correct
sir.
me if I'm wrong.
Yep.
The intent is that you would provide all of the filing documentation required per the contract by February, but you would do that in the first 2 weeks of January.
No, we would be required by the January 15th date, which is
Right.
stipulated in the contract.
So you'd actually be putting more pressure on the department to provide the documentation to the town very early on in the year for the 100,000, and then the balance of the 280 or however you said it
Yeah.
would be in February.
Correct.
So it's
I
just a
mean,
difference of allocation of funds
Right,
between
we're
January.
looking for
15th and February.
$100,000 by January 15th, which will let us pay those January bills on time.
Understood.
And then any February bills that come in, which is really gonna be the heavier lift, those February 1 bills.
Got it.
So if we receive the check for 70% on February 28th, realistically, all my whole board's volunteer one, that's not gonna, get in the bank, it's not gonna be ready to go. We don't wanna start writing checks on money that's not in the bank.
Sure.
So we wanna keep it clean. And again, I realize, I'm not familiar, but I'm sure there's revenue stream issues that, money just doesn't show up here in a bucket on January 1st. I get that. So,
And honestly, that's our problem right now. I have been going back and forth with Trish on this. We don't fill our tax warrant generally to the end of January. So we don't have the money, and there isn't the money in fund balance in the line, the dedicated fire protection line that we can pull off of to cover the whole $100,000.
Is there a way to pull the money for future, like, even if we, let's say for instance, we can't correct this now, can we pull it so that we can correct it for next year? So that we could correct this for long term?
And that's what
Because we've had
Dave
these
has been
discussions
saying.
every year.
Recognizing this, they can start to adjust. We can start to adjust. Everybody can start to adjust. It's this year what we're gonna do right now.
and Mr. Rogan, what I'll do, the plan is to remedy this for January, February of '25, is I'll utilize that 15% check in September as the 1Q startup money, so to
Right.
speak. So we'll budget along the way in '24 so that when that final check comes from the town, that'll be for the January 1 expenditures, which is almost right on point when you look at the dollars of what we anticipate it'll cost us to get through January and February of '25.
Right.
And at that point, we will then be able to sit and talk about how we fix this long-term moving
Right.
forward.
And same thing, through the budget process, we're gonna have to talk about whether we're going to need to increase the funds that we're holding so that we
Right.
have that pot of money January 1st for them.
And our budget come September may look like a 14-month budget. That may be how we have to kind of,
Right.
Right.
how we have to
Right.
address this.
Is there anything we can do in the short term to help out, even though it may not be 100 for January?
So
To
the
make
problem,
up some of the
the
difference.
problem is filling our tax warrant. Money starts coming in January, usually by the end of January, we're starting to see revenue flow back in. Assuming that, we get the same revenue stream that we get every other year, Trish assures me we would be comfortable doing 75,000. Is that
It's
acceptable?
fine. The number was really just to make it clean. We're about $72,000 is what the insurance is, and based on the 2023 numbers, what we spent January, February. So we'll be fine. I mean, it's not like we're starting from zero.
Right.
I just don't have 100,000, so. And let me leave it at this. Again, you understand the situation. We're just asking you to do the best you can.
Sure.
Again, the contract language says on or before. If we can do
Do
a
it
partial
before.
payment, great. If we can't, we can't. We're not gonna go into the red, we're not gonna close up shop.
Sure.
But I wanted to bring this to you guys.
Yeah.
As we had talked about, Sean, that, this is something that we can fix. This is very fixable, just,
Right.
right now, we're kind of in a pinch.
Sure. Well, that seems
So,
like that gets us.
and last year, we, actually, I think by February 15th, we had given you a
Yes,
check.
you did, and that's what I had said, it was, you've been very flexible. And we're gonna make it work, I don't want anybody to walk away thinking that there's gonna be an issue.
Right.
I just wanted to bring it to light, and if there's a way, we can either slide that payment up or just change the payment schedule, even if it's a partial and a partial before February 28th, that's great. So anything the board can do to get us some sort of money early on in the year would be great. And if it's February 1, there's a partial payment, great. At least all I have to do is pay my January bills from last year's money. Any questions?
Sounds immensely reasonable.
Okay. And Mr. Supervisor, I'm in a position at the end of the night, if you want me to sign the current contract, I'm more than happy to.
It's not gonna be ready tonight.
Okay, I didn't know, I mean, I have what you sent me, I didn't know if so that still has to be amended? Okay,
We've gotta figure out what we're gonna
Okay.
do exactly.
okay,
And
That's fine.
rewrite the language. I've gotta run it past the attorney.
that's fine. So
So
just
it'll
let me
take
know and
me-
I'll get in here and get that signed and ready.
Yeah, it'll take me 24, 48 hours.
Okay, great, thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Any other member of the public here tonight have any comments or questions? If not, we'll turn it to our audience joining us by Zoom. If anybody is here, if they would unmute.
Motion would, close the public, I almost said motion to adjourn. Charlie, you're not getting out that quick. Motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And I'm done.
Yep. Somebody would like to audit the bills?
Sure. I'll make a motion to approve abstract number 23 dated December 15th, 2023, in the amount of $655,427.87. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Some budget transfers.
Budget,
Charlie, make them good.
we really start off with a beauty. Let's see. This adjustment number 37.
I've got water. I mean, it's just I've got a tickle in my throat. It'll go away.
To allocate the remaining funds to close the Quail Ridge Road Improvement District. hang on, folks. We're going to increase the allocated fund balance account by $1.39. And we're also going to increase other contractual general fund charge expense account by $1.39.
You might need a roll call vote on that one.
Yes. So I will make a motion that the town board approve budget adjustment request number 37 and request the supervisor to do it by roll call.
Can I get a roll call vote?
Ms. Smith?
Yes.
You're answering
What did he say?
for me. She said Miss Smith.
Oh,
Ladies first.
Mr.
Yes.
Mr. Cook?
yes.
Mr. Logan?
Yes.
Supervisor Williams?
I guess.
Just wanted to get it over with.
It's getting hot in here.
All right, next we have budget adjustment request number 38. And this is necessary to allocate additional funds to the street lighting contractual accounts in both lighting districts to cover increased costs. So we'll increase interest earned, $365. Interest earned revenue accounts, $432. Allocated fund balance, $2,150. Allocated fund balance accounts, $5,300. We're increasing street lighting contractual, $2,515. Street lighting contractual expense accounts, $5,732. Make a motion, the town board approve budget adjustment request number 38. So moved.
Second.
You want a roll call on this one?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next, we have budget adjustment request number 39. Necessary to allocate additional funds to the recycling contractual account to cover increased costs. Increasing interest earned revenue account, $2,258. Increasing recycling contractual expense account, $2,258. Make a motion to approve budget adjustment request number 39. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next, we have budget transfer request number 40.
Gonna be a long night.
Reallocate funds for the Putnam Lake Park District dredging feasibility study. That's taking from Parks Personal Services expense account, $10,372. And we're moving that to Parks Equipment and Capital Outlay expense account, $10,372. Make a motion to approve budget transfer request number 40. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Here we go, last but not least. Reallocate funds for the increased ALS fees and necessary auto repair fees for the ambulance department. And that's moving $27,200 from the contingency account and $5,000 from the ambulance equipment and capital outlay account. And moving it to code enforcement contractual, $700, and ambulance contractual expense accounts, $31,500. So I'll gladly move that we approve budget transfer request number 41. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Nay.
Who's
Oh.
doing the abstract?
All right.
Keep going.
What's that?
Did it? Did we?
Yeah, we did it.
Yeah.
All right, I'm one behind. All right, Charles?
Next, we have highway request of Ed Foster, our acting highway superintendent. Would like to put a sander on the new 2023 Ford F-350 at the expense of $8,375. And we will transfer the funds from DA 5130.402 to purchase it. So I'll make a motion that the town board approve the purchasing of a Fisher Poly Sander for a new truck 18 in the amount of $8,370. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Next, we have letters of people resigning. And this one is from Quinn Irvin. Please accept this letter as a formal notification that I'm leaving my position with the town of Patterson, and my last day will be December 27, 2023. Thank you for the opportunities you have provided me during this time with the town. If I can be any assistance in this transition, please let me know. Quinn Irvin. So I'll make a motion that the town board accepts the resignation notice from Quinn Irvin. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Quinn was a phenomenal young lady, and
Yes,
she's gonna be greatly missed.
right. Agree. Next, we have a letter of resignation from Peter D'Andriano. It is with regret that I tender my resignation from the Patterson Town Board effective immediately, which is December 20th. I am grateful for having the opportunity to serve on the town board of the town of Patterson for the past 10 years, and I offer my best wishes for continued success. I thank the residents of the town of Patterson for electing me and entrusting me to represent them. I'll make a motion that the town board approve the letter of resignation from Peter D'Andriano from the town board. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Good luck, Peter.
Sean?
Okay, next item relates to the conversation that we just had about the Putt Lake Fire Department. I think we kind of said everything. I guess we would just want to codify our intent, which would be, it sounds like from what I heard, for the town to try to do a payment on or about January 15th of $75,000, provided that
I
is-
don't know I'm gonna get January 15th. I mean,
Okay.
we'll do our best,
Yeah.
but I'd rather
Well, that's
have
why I
it-
said on or about.
the contract for January 31st.
Okay. And obviously with the stipulations as outlined that the documentation that's required be submitted in advance of that, the documentation for that contract. So I'll make that motion, so moved.
To amend the
Second.
contract?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And anything else on that?
Nope, I
contract?
think we're good there.
Okay, and the next item relates to the wastewater treatment plant. There's a memo from John Miro from Allied Pollution Control that there was a valve and actuator combo problem. They're revising a price that needs to be done. This is for some work. And I apologize,
It has to do with
looks
the
like a little-
sanitary valves in
Oh, here it is.
the actuators.
The aeration actuators. So, looks like an increase in cost to $2,024, but I felt
Well,
like it was
they-
more than that.
No, so they had asked for this, these are spare parts that we're gonna have for the wastewater treatment plant. They had asked for this back in June, I believe,
Okay,
and they just updated the price.
got it. So, well, it's good to have spare parts for that system, because when that breaks, nobody wants to hear it, that's for
Well,
sure.
get ready, because we're gonna come back and actually request an actuator, because the brand new one we just bought, we just installed. And if that goes down, we have problems with the plant. And that's probably gonna run us about 12 grand.
Yeah. Okay, so on the request from Allied Pollution Control, I'll make a motion, we approve the amount of $2,024 for the new aeration actuator parts. So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I have a year-end resolution. This is a resolution we adopt every year. This allows me to pay all bills between now and the end of the year before the next town board meets. And I would like to ask that this resolution be entered into the record as read, without objection.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. At the last meeting, Councilman D'Adriano brought up about, he had a couple of complaints. I have not heard anything more. As far as I can tell, there are no complaints, but there is an issue with the dog control officer that I would like to address in executive session. So I have two personnel issues in executive session, and I would like to defer that to the end of the meeting. And I'm done.
Okay. First item is a resolution I have here for the abandonment of a portion of Lakeport Drive. 465-foot portion of Lakeport Drive between Scott Place and Sullivan Drive, and as transverses through certain tax parcels shown as 25.62-1-45 and 25.62-1-46 on the south of the paper road, and 25.62-1-9, 2562-1-44, and 25.62-1-43 on the north, has never been constructed, traveled, or maintained as a road providing public access, and exists only as paper. So I'd like to make a motion to enter the abandonment of the portion of Lakeport Drive and enter this resolution into the record as though read. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Done.
Okay. Okay, and we have an Alpine Water District repairs. They removed the equipment at Alpine States Upper Well in Patterson, and as the pump was running, not delivering, they're recommending that the pump, motor unit, or wiring be replaced. The cost for the new 65 GPM water end and a 5 horsepower 230V three-phase motor, 270 feet of number 8/4 double insulated flat wire with splices, check valve O-rings, and fittings, including labor. Labor would be approximately $10,200. This is from Adam Beal. So, we're good with this?
We are
We're
good with this.
Okay.
We better be good with this, it's all done.
Okay.
Because if
So-
people don't have a well pump, they don't have water, and
Okay. This is the exact
nobody
cost
loves
then?
us.
So I'll make a motion to pay Adam Beal in the amount of $10,200 for the repairs to the Alpine Water District repairs. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Other business? Any town board member have any other business at this time? Open it up to the public that is joining us here tonight. If any member of the public here tonight has any comments or questions, if you'd approach the mic.
New topic, David Rains, 11 Bangor Road. Judge, Mr. Cook, we just want to thank you from the Putnam Lake Fire Department for many, many years of support, not only at the board level, but in the community, us coming to you, questions, how to run the business. You've been, a friend, a colleague, and we really, really appreciate
Thank you.
everything you've done for us. And best of luck with whatever's next for you. So thank you very much.
Anyone else? All right, hearing.
Sorry. I just have a question I forgot to ask them. So we're working with the county on the castle. Do you, as the board or the town, have any involvement, any open issues, or is this merely a Putnam County issue with the abandonment of the castle, as we call it, the castle? I know it has an address, but.
At this point, the county is working on taking that, and I should let you do that.
No, I was actually interested. I'm glad to hear that you're working on it, because I just had a discussion today with the county
Right.
about abandoned properties and the challenges of that lot. And they were looking for some additional insight into the background on that property, and I was actually working to get them that. So I'm excited to hear that they've reached out and they're working with you as well.
Well, we're trying to work with them only because now it has really become a life safety hazard.
Sure.
And you've all seen it, I'm sure you've all seen the conditions, and now
Yeah.
with ice and snow, and the fact that one of the occupants has now put boulders in the parking lot, which doesn't allow us to get fire apparatus in front of it if we have to, and
That
so.
was one of the people that live out there?
Yes, sir. So
Wow.
I just, I just,
I assumed it was the county.
again, I'm not looking to
County
open up a can of worms. I just want to make sure that there's not something going on in parallel that I'm not working either against
No.
or, you know, and we're gonna continue to work with the county if that, Mr. Williams, is the right direction to go. We're putting pressure on them from a fire,
Absolutely.
life safety hazard, more so than anything else.
Do you know which resident put those boulders in the parking lot?
It's the occupant of the, I guess it's a structure, the apartment to the left of the castle there.
All right.
We went and spoke to her and said, hey, you need to move them, and she said that she had gotten permission. I said, who could have possibly given you permission? I
Only-
said, it's obstructing our limited access to the structure
Yeah.
in the event that there we have a fire or other issue. And again, I don't wanna belabor it, I just wanna make sure that there's not some parallel path that we're missing here. The last direction I got from Mr. Williams about 6 months ago was that the county is responsible for the property and they should be moving forward and.
They're not yet, that's the problem. They haven't, it's still
They
running
should be
around.
moving forward
Yeah.
in being responsible for the property.
Yeah.
I'm optimistic.
Optimistic.
And I
So-
don't foresee it taking 6 months, but it has.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we were directed to the deputy county executive who directed us to the foreclosure process or tax foreclosure process. And it's been very slow
Yeah.
to get response. So,
Dave, does the fire department have any other issues other than the boulders?
well, all the material that's on the, what would be that,
South side.
the west side, Rich? Would that be looking at the building to the
Okay,
right?
so the lake behind it is on the east.
Right, okay, so it would be
South. So the south,
the south side,
the
yeah.
right side as you're
Oh,
looking at it.
right behind the residences there at the beginning,
Yeah.
you have all that material that's there. There's no access, there's no fire access, there's no, you know, we lost the collapse zone. So, and again, you know, we realize this has been an abandonment issue on the part of the Ronan Brown, I guess, right? Was the
Right.
last known owner, so. Again, I just wanted to ask if there's a parallel process going on here. If not, we'll keep pushing ahead. We'll copy your office, Rich, on any correspondence
I'd
with the
appreciate
county.
it.
And we're just gonna keep pushing the whole fire life safety thing and see if it gets, we're willing to take it to the county executive's ear and say,
Yeah.
hey, listen, besides it being a blight issue, I mean, looks horrible.
And the town did go in and board the building
Yeah, they
up,
did.
and it's still boarded up?
Yeah, it's still boarded up,
Okay,
yeah.
all right,
So,
good.
but we had more police activity there the other night, the kids were there, and so sheriff's got another case on it. So, anyway, I just
All right.
wanna,
Yeah, that's great.
we're working on it, we will copy you on any correspondence. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other member of the public? Hearing none, we'll open it up to the public joining us by Zoom. If any member of the audience joining us by Zoom has any comments or questions, if you'd unmute and state your name and address for the record. Okay, well, hearing none, I would just like to talk for a few minutes. It's been a heck of a year this year for some of us. And, I'm glad that I'm going to be sitting here next year and, continuing on, trying to move this town forward in a positive direction with Sean. And I'm very excited. Mr. Mutner is here tonight, and he'll be joining us at the next town board meeting. But it's also been somewhat of a sad year as well, because we have lost our highway superintendent, who was a close friend and one of the greatest gentlemen I ever had the pleasure of knowing. He was a phenomenal individual, and I still miss him every day. And we are going to be losing somebody who's been with us for a very long time, Mr. Cook, who is stepping down and moving on to bigger and better things, I hope. Do have an opening on the planning board.
Well, you do, good, good luck.
So,
And the zoning board.
And the town board.
and Charlie, it's not much, but we wanted to give you something, just so that you could remember us by. You can prop it up, dust it every once in a while.
Thank you,
So-
thank you very much. Planning board and town board. It's really been my honor. to serve both on the planning board and the town board. Totals up to 17 years. So it's met a lot of good people. And I'd like to give another shout out to the town employees, both full-time and part-time. These people work very hard. They're diligent. They know their jobs. They do their jobs day in and day out. And for me, it's just been a pleasure meeting, knowing, and working with them. I've enjoyed, like I said, my time on both boards. These two guys I've known for day one, planning board, to tonight, in various capacities. Know Mary now, 8 years or so, and it's been really good. People work together, get things done, and there's a lot to be done, and I think this board can tackle that. So I thank you for the plaque, and I thank you for your friendships, all of you, and I wish everybody good luck. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm sure you're still gonna be coming into my office weekly to make sure I'm still following the straight and narrow.
That's the intention. Yes. Friday afternoons around 10 to 5. Yeah.
Yeah, 4:45.
Before you're trying to get out of here. So, and I expect that you'll have, what do you always do? The agenda? So, but thanks, thank you, it's been good.
Thank you.
It's been our honor. really,
Absolutely.
to work with you. I've learned a lot from you over the years, Charlie.
Yep.
And I've always enjoyed working with you. And you're a gentleman. You care about what you do. You approach it in the right way. And I really am honored to have spent the time working with you. I
Wow,
really mean
thank
that
you.
sincerely.
Thank you. Okay.
All right, I'll make a motion to go into executive session.
Second.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Hi, Nikki.
Bye.